channel is a wisdom and joy alternative tool. So listen up. This is the best.
I also want to quickly say, before I do it, I want to quickly say, this is what we do when we edify people on the phone. So we're doing that as a practice for everybody to always be in awareness. When you're introducing your upline, this is what you do. You edify them to increase the listening. But of course, with Michael Jude, it's easy to do. He's got so much to offer us. Michael Jude, I must say, has grown on me. Well, I'm kind of many levels down from Michael, and so when I first met Michael, he was to me as though he's somewhere far in the distance, and there was a big, not a big divide. It wasn't so much it was a division. There was just a kind of, it didn't need to be gapped necessarily. The way it was gapped was with me stepping up, right, and stepping more closer into the space where he is continuously, and was continuously residing. So I've had the pleasure to run the last event with Michael, and I have found Michael to be totally in the present moment, completely there with what is needed for people, totally flexible, absolutely able to be cooperatively working, and completely inspiring. And I am just so happy that you're here.
It's always interesting to be introduced because I'm not sure what they're going to say. And thank you. That's generous, flexible, and inspired in the moment. Those are high things to live up to. So thank you for the challenge. And this is kind of in the moment and flexible because I was just asked to speak after lunch. No, but everybody, you look awake, right? Everybody has Chaos Gold in case you start getting the snooze going. Yeah. We need some back here. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. So I was asked to speak a little bit about a subject that I'll share my journey on, and I'm sure for most of us this is going to be familiar. And it's about the transition, the growth of a networker. How virtually all full-time networkers will reach this place, and very few of us start out in this place. So this morning we were talking a little bit about these 5 aspects of belief, right? We were talking about how to believe in the products and the company and the industry and ourselves and our success team. And for most of us, it's easy to believe in the products, right? Very easy. You use the products and I have a visceral feeling. Wow, I feel good on this stuff. I feel youthful, energetic, and I look in the mirror and I look better and feel better. So that's easy to believe. And when I give it to somebody else, I've got instant credibility because they're looking better, feeling better. They're telling me they like it, they keep buying it. So, hey, that's easy to be a 10. On the company, it's easy, isn't it? Because, well, they ship the stuff. They don't mess up. If they do mess up, they make it right. Checks arrive on time. Everything rolls on. So that's pretty easy. Network marketing, maybe not so much, right? Because there's this thing, and there's these rumors and bad press, and there's a scandal. So there's some doubt. Doubt starts to creep in. And there's this other thing called me, which we've done this with lots and lots of people, and those are the 2 that people score the lowest on, typically, is me and network marketing. So the nice thing about that is that's where you need to work, right? You work on the lowest, and it shifts, and sometimes one's higher than the other, but I always work on the lowest. And the thing that I know to do about that is to get more information for those information junkies, more experience for experiential people, more feeling about it if you're emotive or whatever but it's about informing ourselves. It's about growing into it by educating and experiencing a higher level, right? So my own personal power, maybe do some workshops, maybe get a coach, maybe put myself in challenging situations and live into my commitments, right? Lots of good things there. Around network marketing, maybe read a book, listen to a DVD, talk to somebody who's successful. Look at the track record, really look at the track record of this amazing industry and see how many people's lives have been changed for the better. How many people are lifted out of poverty or despair or dead-endism, or whatever that is, that's the word. Coming out of a dead end into a future of hope and brilliance. Wow, what else is doing that these days? Okay? But there's another piece, and it's called the business of network marketing. And I want to share a little bit about my journey. And maybe some of you can relate to this. Because like most networkers, when I first started, I started out with a product. I'll tell you my story. I was working construction. I was building homes for spec, which is very risky. It's like a gamble on the economy. So you build this house and you try to sell it. In the meantime, you got to pay the bank and the workers and huge bills. It's very risky, high stakes business. What I found is a lot of the workers on the job, they were showing up either hungover or drugged over or just out of it. They show up, the body's there, but they weren't working well. Accidents, inattention, sloppiness. And I'd used body balance, and I thought, this stuff's great. Maybe if I give some to these guys, maybe they'll, have a better experience. So it was out of self-interest. Gave it to some of the workers, and sure enough, guess what happened? They show up, and they're excited, and they're healthy, and they had all the good effects of it. And started sharing it then with their wives, and their wives started networking it. And once the wives started networking it, we started getting these checks. These are nice little checks, and they're suddenly getting to be hundreds and thousands. And said to Krista, these little checks, I mean, if we really did something with this, we're just messing around. If we did something, I bet we can make some serious money. And the building industry was having a downturn at the time, and so one thing led to another, and we got a full-time career as network marketing. I just made a mistake. It wasn't Body Balance, it was another similar product and a similar company, so I just want to correct that. By the time we hit Lifeforce, we were already full-time networkers, successful. But the point of the story was the same. That's just a detail. The point of the story is I believed in the product. And I would represent the product. And I had no reality around it as a business. I mean, I had some. But I didn't have the confidence or the belief. So I didn't represent it as a business opportunity. Sound familiar to anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, leading with the product.
Yeah.
And most people come in our industry leading with the product. Particularly if you're a product user or a practitioner, it's easy to lead with the product. Most people, if they're in here long enough and they get some success, go, well, this is all good, but I see most of the full-timers leading with the business. And gee, I'd like to do that, but I don't know how. Or I'd like to do that, but I don't feel comfortable. Or I'd like to do that, but that's not me. Anybody relate to that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about that transition.
Okay.
But I don't want to talk about it from here's what you do, particularly. I mean, you can do this stuff. From that perspective, I want to talk about it from a place to come from, a state of being, a piece of ground to stand on and represent to the world. Okay? So the essential part of it, I want to give you the essential part, so you got the answer, then I want to talk about it a little bit. So the essential part is, when I take Body Balance in, see the result, and I give it to somebody to see the result, I have proof, I have evidence it works, I can represent that with confidence in the world. The essential ground to stand on is, are you making money? Is network marketing working for you? Is the business working for you? Doesn't mean you've got everything you want, as big as you want, as you'll have it eventually. Neither does taking Body Balance, right? It works, but it's not a miracle. It's not going to give you everything you want instantly. Neither does this business. One of the dangers is holding this to such a high level of criteria that it'll never make it. I've had people use Body Balance, they've gotten a great result, and then they complain to me, well, it's in a plastic bottle. And I'm going, well, wait a minute, your arthritis is gone, you got more energy, your kid's acne cleared up, your wife's PMS went away, and you're talking to me about the bottle? Yeah, it's a plastic bottle. I said, do you drink orange juice? Yeah. Do you drink milk? Yeah. Do they come in plastic bottles? Yeah. I said, what's the problem here? You see, they've got such a high standard that it can't possibly meet their standard, so, what are you going to do about it? Don't do that around the business. Any of you guilty around that around the business? You don't have an answer me. You don't have your new Mercedes? Too bad. You can get it. But, Don't go in expecting to be instantly wealthy. It doesn't work that way. It's not designed to work that way. And you can get it. So let's get some realistic expectations around this thing called the business so you're comfortable representing it for what it is. And its potential. Not holding some shadow about, oh, well, I don't have a Mercedes, I can't represent it. See, that's not accurate thinking. Statistics. Most people come into our business, what, full-time or part-time? It's not a trick question. Part-time. Almost everybody comes in part-time. It's designed to work part-time. When I prospect people, I say, hey, you got a job, great. Running somebody doing a job, I said, you want to make some extra money? You want another career? Yeah, but I got this. Look, you can do it part-time. Keep your job. Just do this in the background, part-time, build an income, and if you want, you can let that go and do this later. It's designed to be introduced part-time. Because what? Because it's a game of long-term and delayed gratification, right? Practically nobody comes in their first month makes $5,000, unless they're already a network, bringing it down like me. Most people, they might make $50 their first month if they apply themselves. But for a lot of people, it's a couple of months before they see any money. Why? Well, I got to try the product, got to make sure it's right for me, and I got to make sure this thing works, and then I'll get some courage, and maybe I'll talk to somebody, maybe I won't, maybe I'll think about talking to them, maybe I won't. You know how it works. The business is not going to necessarily produce instant results, so don't go in thinking. I mean, I know you don't think it will, but don't think you've got to tell somebody it will, because it probably won't. You can under-promise this dramatically and over-deliver dramatically, right? You can under-promise it. You can tell somebody, look, it's a long-term plan. How long did it take to go to college to become a roofer? Plumber. Or you don't go to university, but it's an apprenticeship, right? If you want to be a teacher, you've got to go to university. If you want to be a librarian, most things require training. Why would this be any different? Why would this be this magical thing that you don't have to learn anything to do? No. There's an apprentice program here. And it takes a while. They don't even know what a BV is. They don't know what an upline, a downline, MLM, what's that stand for? Guys, when people come in, the expectation should be, look, there's going to be a while before you generate cash. And if you make it in the meantime, that's great. And we hope they make it in the meantime. It's so easy they can. But let's put our expectation in the proper place, that this is a part-time gig that they're going to have to learn and they're going to have to get comfortable with, and we're going to mentor and coach and help and support, and they make some money along the way. So that's an example of how to get comfortable offering it. Can you see yourself offering it on that basis and be totally comfortable? Because there's no embarrassment possible. If you go in offering it that way to somebody, it's highly unlikely they're going to come back to you and go, well, you told me I was going to get rich and drive a Mercedes in 3 months. So, and now I'm not suggesting you make it dumb. I'm just trying to reduce your expectations, and so you're not over-promising. And that, what I find is, where I get a little more flustered is if I over-promise something to somebody and they go, oh, I don't believe I just said that. Because they're probably not going to do that. So there I feel out of integrity and I feel embarrassed. That's probably why it took a while for me to offer this business. I want to talk a little bit about practitioners too, because that's a ripe market, and right now, I think I'm safe in saying this, there's a major push on corporate. We can talk more about this with the general population the next couple of days, because Kristen and I have been camped out in San Diego, moved to San Diego 2 months ago at the invitation of the company to do some work alongside them. One of the things that we've developed, and it came out of this group, people in this room, was a practitioner model that's dynamic and powerful and well supported by tools and programs and things. So that's going to be released here shortly. So when we're talking to practitioners, let's get it straight. What's their primary love? Network marketing or the healing arts?
Healing.
Healing arts. So why, I wouldn't want to go into my chiropractor and say, hey, you know what, you can get rich doing this, and give up chiropractic and do this. They might go, well, who said I want to give up my healing arts? They don't.
Ours did.
What's that?
I said our chiropractor did.
Yes, and ours did. And this is a true story. We were clients. This is one of the busiest busiest in Boulder, Colorado, which is known for the healing arts. Is one of the busiest chiropractic operations there. And some of you will know this person. We were clients and friends. As a matter of fact, they traveled internationally with us, and we had a great time. And we told them about network marketing for years, and it wasn't right. They loved to travel though, and they didn't like having high overheads, staff, not being able to travel, the rigors and the stress of work. And so like typical practitioners, they were small business people operating on a fixed income because they couldn't work anymore. And they were seeing their expenses go up, and they didn't want to raise their rates, and they couldn't take time off work because their clients went crazy, and staff problems, drama, all of it. So one time they just had it. They just said, look, we've had it. We'll take a look. Well, I believe it was within a year. They'd sold their practice. They were making, I believe, more money doing network marketing, and they're having the time of their life. So it's a true story, and it can happen. Probably the exception, right? But it's true, and it can happen. Now, I've been guilty of this. I've gone into other practitioners and say, hey, well, here's a true story. Here's this friend of ours, and they decided to do this, and within a year they were out traveling the world having the time of their life. Now, what's risky about that? What's risky is that was very unusual.
Yeah.
And number two, I'm assuming that they want to go travel and have the time of their life. Maybe they don't, maybe they do. So that's probably not a good way to talk about the business. This is not, I wouldn't ask, my intention here is not to talk about techniques. You'll have to, there's other things we'll do about that. I actually want to talk about another aspect of this, and that's the spiritual basis of money. Okay, the spiritual basis of money. Because when I got this, then I was able to talk to anybody at any time, under any circumstances about this business. Because see, what's the truth for me is that our money has this very deep spiritual basis. Governments have currently claimed that they own the money and they regulate it and they control it. Yeah, they do, but money precedes these governments. It's our money. In other words, Stephen was a farmer and I was a merchant, and I would loan him, I would give him credit for seeds and he would pay me back when his crop came in. So I gave him credit. That was the original form of money, it was credit. Now we use these things called dollars, that's fine. The point is this, money has a spiritual basis, and it's called the relationship between the trust between me and him. I extend credit to Stephen. That's a trust. That's a sacred trust, because he's going to honor it, isn't he? And I'm going to honor it back, and we build this history, we build this relationship. And so money has a very profound place in life. Now it also has a shadow place, right, of oppression and control and domination. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the spiritual basis of money, which I believe all of us in this room share. Because in our networks, our dollars every month come from, I look at it as a love offering. People buy our products because they want them. They see value in them. Not because we're beating them up to buy them. They're voluntarily giving us their money because they're receiving something they see as equal or higher value for that money. So it's honoring the integrity and freedom of the relationship. Now that is what I'm offering people, is the deeper experience of that. The love and respect that comes with honorable exchange. I call it sacred commerce. And it's not about domination and shadow and control. So if I feel funny about offering this or offering a money exchange with somebody and it's coming from that place of lack or need or domination or control, yeah, it could be weird. And I could feel funny about it. I could be like, well, I don't want to talk about the business if it's coming from that place. So I'm going to invite each of you to look in your heart and in your life and see what's true about this. Yes, I get that we all have that because it's broadcast to us and it's all around us and it exists. Not to be airy-fairy and say it doesn't exist. It does exist, but that's not what we do. If you did that, you wouldn't be in this room right now. People can do that for short-term advantage here, but remember, this is a long-term game. And our relationships are built on trust based on experience, successful experience in the relationship. That's why people trust us, because we have a history with them of successful mutual respect and mutuality, right? We can't control people in this and expect it to last. We can't put stuff on them and expect it to last in fruit. So what we do is good. It's fundamentally good. We serve people, and they willingly exchange with us. They willingly get into an exchange. That's what we're offering people. So when I say there's a spiritual basis for the money that we use, I would say there's a spiritual basis for these relationships of wanting to help you become a better person, a better body health, better mental outlook, better skill set, a business, a way to support yourself, a community, a way to freedom and owning the rest of your life, a way for your children to be successful and held. That's what I'm offering people. So I want you to consider that offering the business from this day forward could look a lot different than maybe the way you've been holding it, if that's true for you. So the exercise is this. What is true for you about this? Yes, and acknowledge if it's true that, oh yeah, this is network marketing and there's this thing and it's associated with pyramids and there's that. Yeah, okay, great. Acknowledge that. Because it's true. There have been abuses, and there still are. Some people are abusive with this tool. But I submit that's not what we're doing here. That's not what we are. People drive cars and use them to kill people. That's fine, but that's not what we do. Right? So also acknowledge what's true here. That our hearts are in the right place. That our actions are honorable. That when we offer people things of high value, and they reciprocate voluntarily by giving us their money, their love, their time, that is a good thing. And that's something that I believe everybody in the world can use more of. And so that's what I'm offering when I'm offering the business. So I invite you to reframe what those words mean, offering the business. Because you know how you feel when you offer the product? You know the good feeling you get? It's a win-win. There's no lose here. There's a money-back guarantee if they don't like it. Nobody can lose trying these products, right? Do you get that? Can you generate that same feeling for offering the business? See, there's no losers here. If they make money doing the business, it's because of a love offering back and forth. And if they try and they don't make any money, have they learned something? Have they gotten valuable life experience? Even a failure, so to speak, I don't believe there's any failures, but even a failure could be seen as a learning opportunity. There's valuable information for them in a perceived failure. And they will get expert mentoring and guidance and coaching, and they'll be part of this community. They'll have the support, and they'll have a path open to them. They can try it today, and for some reason it doesn't work. Can they come back in a year? Are we going to accept them back if they're honorable? Are we going to accept them back in 5 years if they say, yeah, I want to come back?
Yeah.
Is that valuable? So maybe do the little exercise. Frame what it means to offer the business. Like offer the product, offer the business, and reframe it for yourself so it's something so gorgeous, so juicy, so precious that you just can't resist offering it to people with a big smile on your face. And it's okay if they don't take it, but you just love for them to have it. And see how that works for you. Thank you.
Good.